right, my friends, welcome to episode 196 of Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. Witcher 3 is coming to Switch.
We'll talk about that.
Oh my god. Prof and Dev Play Games. This is our second E3 wrap-up. We're going to cover basically Monday and Tuesday conferences and talk about what we heard, what we thought, how we're feeling. And then we will get back to our regular schedule next Monday. So why don't we start with where we left off? Because we talked about Sunday's conferences, and then Monday morning there was the PC gaming show, which I didn't watch, but apparently there was a lot of things going on.
I watched a bit of it. Like, it was kind of on. There was a lot of stuff shown, but not a lot of depth to anything shown.
Okay.
So some pretty things, some reveals of, I don't know, things that they're popular in the PC gaming space, very specifically, like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, that stuff. There was Shenmue 3, of all things, was hidden in there.
Weird, okay. Guess they didn't have a Sony stage, so had to go somewhere.
Go somewhere, I guess. I don't know. It was okay. It was presented well. It just felt like, here's a bunch of games that we're going to show less than 2-minute clips of, have some devs talk about it, and on to the next thing. So it never felt like anything got really like a good amount of depth there.
Right.
I could really sink in my teeth into. Like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline, they opened with Evil Genius 2. Have you ever heard of the?
Not at all.
It's like you're building think of it as you're playing a Bond villain, and you're building your big secret base, and then your base gets attacked by James Bond, basically, or that type of spies, and hopefully you built your base in a way that can eliminate all the spies trying to infiltrate it.
Okay.
It's a different take, basically a different aesthetic to Dungeon Keeper, which is the game from a long time ago. So they opened with that, which has a great visual style, and then they went into Vampire. And it was really brief, because I thought Vampire would be one of the big ones that they talk about.
Right.
And they showed a minute 30, then had 2 of the devs out, talked to them about basic questions, and then moved on.
So it wasn't like this big flashy thing. It was just one of many.
One of many. And then, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out there. It's just nothing that I feel like broke out, basically, from everything else going on.
What about the Baldur's Gate 3 at the end? Was there anything more there than was at Stadia?
No.
Oh, okay.
Trailer, but then they had Mike Merles from D&D, and nice. The guy from Larian, again, just talking to them, confirming that, yes, it's 5th edition, that it's set 100 years after Baldur's Gate 2, which fits, because Baldur's Gate 2 is D&D's 2nd edition, Forgotten Realms. Through all the editions of D&D, they've advanced the timeline 100 years. And then next, the D&D 5th edition Baldur's Gate book, which comes out in September, is kind of a prequel to Baldur's Gate 3 video game.
Oh, okay, so it kind of leads right into it then.
It's kind of setting the stage of what Baldur's Gate looks like currently in the Forgotten Realms and what's going on. So then when Larian releases their game in a couple years, that will be kind of the updated setting. But, I mean, that's really all they kind of got into. It's all stuff that I've read articles on after the release trailer got shown, the launch trailer got shown, preview. So
yeah,
there wasn't new info. That's the thing.
I guess
new game modes for different games that are popular right now.
Another auto chess got announced.
Actually, that's official auto chess. So the guys who made Auto Chess and Dota 2, so they've already put it out now as a standalone on phones. This is Auto Chess standalone on PC as its own game.
I see.
Not inside Dota 2 anymore. So now you have, let's go through the list here. You have Auto Chess. You have Valve making their own Auto Chess game, or I think standalone. And then you have Riot, who just launched a game mode in League of Legends that's auto chess. Their version of auto chess.
So it just blew up and everyone's copying it real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of like
mode.
Battle Royale. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So Yep, that's happening, and so there'll be a standalone auto chess, which is cool. But there's a lot of people making that right now.
Right. It seems like I mean, that's a multiplayer dependent game, right? Or is it single player?
No, it's multiplayer.
Okay, it's kind of splitting your play base, I guess.
Yeah.
If everyone was playing one, but I don't know. Are they selling it? Or is it for right? Because the mode is within a free to play game, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be free to play.
Oh,
I'm almost certain because, I'll be honest, Chinese development, Chinese game. Most of that it will be online. Chinese game will be free to play.
Yeah,
that's what actually makes money in China. So, yeah. So that I don't have a lot to say about it. It was fine, but nothing like, oh my god, must talk about this.
Well, you actually did text me about one game from the PC gaming show, which was Telling Lies.
Was that in here?
Yeah. It was you were watching it and you texted me.
Put it in the list I'm looking at? Didn't even list it.
Oh, the one I have listed it. It's published by Annapurna. It's developed by Sam Barlow. It's basically
that was great.
The game we played for Video Game Book Club.
Her Story.
Thank you. Her Story. They're doing
so it's like Her Story on crack, basically.
Awesome.
So you're not looking at one person. You're like, what was the premise? You have a hard drive of videos from 4 different people of just video diaries they made, personal stuff, and you're trying to piece together what's happened. Basically the story of kind of Her Story, but more twisted, and like they said, about 10 hours of video footage.
Oh my god, that's quite a bit bigger than Her Story.
It's a big game.
Who's acting in it?
I didn't see. I recognized some of them, but they didn't in the trailer give the credits on exactly who. Like,
is Tom Hardy in it?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm seeing right now that he's in it, but that doesn't make.
Really?
Telling Lies, Tom Hardy. Cause I didn't see this, so I'm.
Yeah. He might be.
Maybe not. No. Okay.
No one that I actually know.
Yeah. Okay. Never believe things you read on the internet, folks. Except for those Nintendo Direct leaks, because holy shit. But we'll get there.
So yeah, that was PC Game Show, which then ended in the morning and had a couple hours before Ubisoft kicked on.
Right, and shout out to my friend Brad, who purchased me a copy of Commander Keen when he heard on our podcast that I had no idea what that was. So I'm gonna check that out before next Sunday. But he said, "Oh, I'm watching the conference this morning, so we can talk about it." I was like, "There's a conference this morning?" He's like, "God damn it, it's PC gaming. Of course you don't know about it." Like, sorry, man. Sorry. I was waiting for Ubisoft, and I was not disappointed by the first game, but maybe a little disappointed by the rest. But
I actually think the only really big thing for me was the opening.
Absolutely. They opened with Watch Dogs Legion, which fucking looks amazing. So good. Yeah. They basically, the conceit is that there is no main character. You can recruit anyone in the world and you play as them, and everyone has their own backstory and animations or whatever else, but they showed like you could be an assassin or like a granny.
But the full trailer, she was a retired assassin.
That's true. She was a retired assassin. But you can kind of recruit anyone to your crew, and if you die, you're dead, and they kind of reference you, and you move on with one of your other recruits and continue the game.
Yeah. It looks really cool in the demo shown, which is very self-contained.
Yeah, and
this
sped up for
concept
timing.
is insane.
Yeah,
and that there's a lot of, I would say, red flags going off for me because holy shit. Like, it's mostly red flag. I'm like, sure, okay, you have different people you're jumping between. How do you make this truly not repetitive?
Right. Where it's like mixing and matching from a set.
Yeah, how much do you
characteristics or whatever?
In my head, I've tried to start calculating like how much content, quests, unique changes depending on the type of person you're playing to make it feel like if I spend 50 hours in this game, I don't feel like it's getting repetitive.
Right, like they all feel unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, it's really ambitious. Clint Hawking, who's the guy who did Far Cry 2, and I'm not sure what else he did.
He did Splinter Cell a long time ago.
Oh, that's right.
Like he's done a bunch of stuff. He worked at Valve for a while, for a year and a half, and then left.
And then they realized they don't make any games there.
Or got fired. I don't know. Who knows with Valve?
But the way that
but basically he released nothing while there because they don't release anything.
Exactly. The way that he presented it specifically made me think, okay, this is maybe the first Ubisoft game that's going to actually say something, have a fucking message, and actually like be political. And then I'm probably going to be disappointed because they probably will not do that.
They probably won't go as far as you would think.
Yeah. I hope they go further than Far Cry 5 though, which went nowhere. So.
Yeah.
That would be nice, but it looks good. It's a March 2020 release, which is right on track with what the rumors were saying, considering this tech seems really big.
And I'll be honest, I think it could even slip further.
Yeah.
Like, I know they want it out before end of fiscal year.
Right.
But I don't think they'll try to rush out something broken.
Right.
And all the tech required to do this, like I was saying, to make it unique and keep it feel fresh instead of just feeling like, oh, look at this cool tech demo that might be good in a future game. This is a likely could slip into summer to get out of that crowd.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Q1 into Q2 next year just looks fucking nuts. Like everyone's just like, you know what, we want these games for current gen. We're just gonna dump them all before next gen hits, and it's just
fall, not in fall.
Exactly, Get away from fall because people are gonna be spending their money on the console and probably not have a ton of money for other games.
See, that's the thing is, you want to put games out when consoles come out
because they do pretty well, right? Like launch titles, there's nothing else to buy.
Oh my god,
right?
everyone wants. You buy a new console. Yes, you won't buy all the games, but you want your games for the console. You don't buy a console not to play anything.
Yeah, right. I just wonder it's
always a good time to have, if you can launch your game in the launch window of a new console generation, you're guaranteeing a good amount of sales, even if your game sucks.
Why aren't some of these waiting then? Is it just because fiscal year? They want to get that on their balance sheet? I think they want a
balance sheet, and then who knows what they would feel they'd need to do to get it to ready for next gen.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe there'll be versions of this that come out on next gen. Well, that's the thing, we don't know how that's all going to work. Maybe it's with the PS5, it's a lot like the PS4, so a lot of games will get patches that
or even
allow them to be played on on 5 with higher frame rates, or all that stuff.
Even like a $5 up-res pack or whatever, like higher textures or whatever else. That's smart. That makes sense.
They're probably just trying to split the generations with this.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot of games right then.
It's a ton of games. But I'm excited for I'm just going to take March off and just play a ton of games.
But Legion looks awesome.
Legion looks incredible. I am so excited considering how much I loved 2, my first real platinum, because I'm not going to count my Telltale game platinums, because you basically just play until you get it. But in terms of the rest of this conference, only 2 other things really stood out to me, and one was the God and Monsters at the end, which there really wasn't much to it, but it was kind of cel-shaded graphics by the team that did Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It's cartoon Greece.
Yeah, it's kind of cartoon Greece, like fucking with Greek gods, kind of like an action-adventure game, it sounds like. And from a podcast I was listening to today, the Split Screen with Jason Schreier, he was saying that he heard that as soon as Assassin's Creed Odyssey wrapped, Ubisoft put that team on this game and said get it out by the end of fiscal year 2020. So that seems like a short cycle, but maybe it's a small game. I don't know.
Small. I mean, they could be doing a weird thing where they're recycling assets from AC Odyssey with a different texture and material baked onto them, so they don't.
Right. So it looks different, but it's not.
So they can cut some of the time down on content creation.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
And make it more fantastical.
Yeah.
Even though it already is a really fantastical game. So.
Right. I guess the other thing that stood out for me was the Uplay Plus, which is basically their subscription model, $14.99 a month, only on PC right now, I guess.
It's expensive.
It is really expensive. But thinking about the beginning of next year, if God and Monsters plus Watch Dogs Legion, like if I were to like get down and play those games seriously, like I could get through both of them in like 2 months, and that's $30 instead of paying $120. So I can see the appeal there, but I was surprised with the $14.99, but they did say that all the versions of the games are like the gold editions with all the DLC and everything. But I don't know. I feel like this is where it's going to go. Everyone's going to have their subscription model. And
it's
Ubisoft games to me are a good one for that, because there's a lot of their games that I really like and really want to play, but I didn't get Division 2 because I didn't want to put $60 down on a game in the middle of when I was playing another one of their games.
Yeah.
And I just like their games, so it feels good. It seems like a smart strategy for them. And then the other thing from their conference that was not part of their conference that I didn't even see till you tweeted me or texted me was tell us what this fucking thing was. This amazing, beautiful goodness.
It was actually before their conference started. They had like a pre thing where they were just kind of outside, just talking to different devs and teams. And AC Odyssey, I believe this is probably going to be the last stuff for AC Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday they launched Story Creator website, so you can just make your own quests now.
Oh, so
like
good.
The community can just make quests. It's like a node graph way to just edit on basically a graph map, a mind map of like, oh, I want this NPC here, and you got to talk to them, and they have this dialogue trees, and like has you go do these things, and you just can build stories. It's not super in depth. You can't do everything, but you can tell a story.
Right. You can just it's like Infinite Odyssey now, where you can just tack on the community can make these creative quests. I really want to make a quest where Alcibiades sends Cassandra on a quest to find his professor and his developer. Gotta figure out how to make that work narratively.
Nice.
God, it just sounds so great. It's like giving you tools to build something inside of a great, wonderful game.
Yeah, so they announced that. It was a fantastic thing. I'm surprised they didn't even put that in their actual stage thing, just somewhere.
Yeah.
And then this fall is the Discovery Tour mode.
Awesome.
Of Grace, which I think is probably the same as thing that they did with
Origins, yeah, which was really fun.
Wander around and examine historical sites inside the game.
And there's trophies attached to it, which is always
nice.
It
sounds like it's gonna be, if you own AC Odyssey, you get it, but they're also gonna sell it separately.
Right. That's what they did for Origins too, so schools could just buy that.
Yeah.
So
but again, none of that was in the actual conference.
That's what surprises me.
Pre kind of lead up to the conference.
Like, cut the Mythic Quest trailer about this Apple TV show and put that in there instead. I don't know. What did you think about that Mythic Quest thing?
Meh.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be bad.
Yeah.
Because nothing about game development is good except maybe Grandma's Boy. Don't watch that with your wife. She'll despise it.
What the hell is that?
It's a very, very funny movie. It's very, very dumb.
Okay.
But it's very good. It's one of those things where you watch it and you're like, this is totally fake and not how games are actually made, but there's enough truth to parts of it that you're like, yeah, that's a pretty grand take on that, but it's kind of true and hilarious. I think a lot of people didn't hear of this movie when it came out quite a while ago. Yeah. I didn't hear about it until I started at PodCap, and people were at PodCap were like, all the devs were like, you work in games, you got to watch this movie. And I did, and I'm like, this is really funny and bizarre and weird and really crude at times too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I highly recommend that one for people who honestly, it's very stoner humor in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But it is what it is. But it was funny, and I can tell you that Mythic Quest looks not even close to funny like that.
Yeah.
It's just painful a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been cut for something else like AC Odyssey News, which seemed like people were pretty excited about that, and I'm surprised that it was not in a conference where the rest of the stuff was kind of meh.
No.
That brings us to Square Enix, which I would ask you to lead us through because you're more the Square guy than I am.
Oh my god, this conference. I mean, they didn't really hold anything back on the Final Fantasy VII remake.
I guess not.
They opened with it and then just spent, 15 minutes? 20 minutes of the conference just talking about it?
Yep.
Like, showing a trailer, having producers and devs come out and talk about it, and then like really talking about the combat. Holy crap. Like, let's walk you through how we've changed the combat. Final Fantasy VII Remake, it is a remake, but it's just a different game.
It's like a reimagining, right?
It is it's the same story, just reimagined in a very different way.
Yeah.
And God, does it look good.
It looks fucking incredible. I'm just confused about
pretty.
I'm just confused about how they're packaging it, which is basically like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
They're calling it not episodic, but
right.
this isn't the whole story.
But people walk in and look at that title and say Final Fantasy VII Remake, sweet, and then it ends at Midgar, the end of Midgar or whatever, and they're like, where's the rest?
I'm curious on how they're eventually going to brand it.
Mm-hmm.
And also how long it's going to take them
to get the next one
out? Get the next one, the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get through the entire story of Final Fantasy VII? How many of these games does it take?
Well, Midgar's like, what, 20% of the game?
Maybe. It's hard to say, because I did way more. No, it's less than a third.
Okay.
Far less than a third.
Okay.
It's a quarter or less.
Okay.
Except my time with that game is so bloated with, getting Knights of the Round and Chocobo racing and breeding and all these other activities, which I'm pretty sure they will not include in here. I bet they will include Knights of the Round, though. But they hit the end of Midgard, it still doesn't answer my actual real question, because Midgard, even in FF7, was a very self-contained story. It's very good. But there's no open world to it. You're moving from static screen to static screen.
Yeah.
At the end of Midgard, you get dropped into the open world, just the normal JRPG world map.
And it's funny, that's exactly where I am in Final Fantasy VII. I just got dropped in the world. I probably played like another half an hour. So I basically played the beginning. I played Midgar. And I
think Midgard's fantastic.
It was fun. I really liked it. But then I got lost in the open world
so good.
part. Or the overworld part.
Yeah. And I'm very curious what the remake does with that open world map. Do they even do it? Is the next game after Midgard, do they just not do an open world where you wander around?
And they just kind of like funnel you into the next place?
Yeah, and they just do the next game as the next major piece of the story, which was... What was it? It was getting on a ship, I believe. Trying to sneak your way onto a ship and get across the continents because you're chasing Sephiroth.
Right.
Or was the Golden Saucer before that? I think the Golden Saucer might be before that. I don't know. It gets all confused. But either way, there's part of me that is curious, very curious on how they're going to progress through this in Final Fantasy VII Remake 2, 3. Final Fantasy.
And what I don't know how
they're going to brand it. I don't know.
They're going to call it Final Fantasy VII 2 Remake.
Yes.
Just like fucking Final Fantasy 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 10
but
even.
It looks incrable.
It looks like the best game I've ever seen.
So bad. Like the combat, the way that it feels a little bit like looks a little bit like Final Fantasy 15's action combat.
But it looks better, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's more refined. You can pause or slow-mo everything, like really slow-mo it, which looks incredible.
Well, and I like the banter between the characters too.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. Although I just can't get Cloud sounds like Noctis to me. I don't know if he's the same voice actor or not, but he sounds exactly the same to me. Maybe that's just a Final Fantasy protagonist issue.
Potentially.
They all sound the same.
But it looks great. I've watched the trailer separately a couple times now. The big, 4.5 minute thing.
Right. Uh-huh.
And they showed Tifa and Sephiroth, and God, the crowd go wild when Tifa showed up.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
So it looks great. But it also comes out March 3rd.
I know. Wow. Why is I know why, but geez, everything. No one's gonna have enough time to play all these awesome games. 2020 is the new 2017, I guess. It's just gonna be stacked with so many great games. It's incredible. Plus the new stuff.
Beginning.
Yeah. Right. Everyone's trying to get up for new consoles.
And we haven't even hit the thing where, what was the rumors that Last of Us Part 2?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Has slipped into the spring as well.
Right.
Ugh, please stop.
So many good games stuffed into March.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad I have spring break then, but I also have a kid.
Yeah.
And grading.
These are big games too.
Huge games, exactly. Anything else stand out to you from Square?
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VIII coming to Switch.
Can you believe
they found the source code or just remade it completely with
right.
whatever assets they could find? I would love to hear the story of how this actually happened. Oh, I really would love. Hopefully someone will do interviews at some point and be like, okay, why did this finally happen?
Right, where did it go?
Did some old employee find a hard drive in their house somewhere that, oh, look at it, actually has 8 source code on it. Here you go.
Yeah, I want to know. I really want to know what happened, because that's been just the missing one that everyone's been confused about where it went.
And I'm super... I'll get it. I mean, it's the weirdest Final Fantasy by far. But I have a soft spot for it, even in all of its really strangeness. Well,
on Switches, I know it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One and PC or whatever, but Switch feels like it's becoming the Final Fantasy machine.
Yeah, let's see. Once this comes out, you'll be able to play 7, 8, and 9. 10, 2 remaster, 12 remaster, Zodiac Age. They haven't done anything with 13.
Right.
I guess they brought it to PC. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, they've done older, not well received updates of 6. Like the art style they chose to redo it in was terrible. Again, I hope at one point they'll just do 6 with the Octopath engine.
Yeah, that would
be just redo some of these old 16-bit JRPGs using Octopath's kind of aesthetics. I'd be really into that, and hopefully at some point that might happen. But for now, we have to wait and see what they'll do there, because everyone loves 6 a lot, and I've played. Right. I have it on the SNES Classic.
Well, when it comes up again and again, it's just brought up as in the pantheon of the best Final Fantasies, like top 3, if not, rivaling 7.
A lot of people put it as their favorite. Yeah. I'll put it that way.
But it looks like it's a 2019 release date. We don't know when.
Yeah, I'm assuming sometime.
Unless it came out in the Switch. Did the Switch, or excuse me,
no.
Did the Switch thing tell a release date for that one?
No, just this year. Anything else really stand out? I mean, they showed off some new things. Oh yeah, Crystal Chronicles. Yes.
Didn't we know about that?
We did, but they finally showed more of it. And
okay.
Be out in the winter.
Right.
But they're using it's coming to mobile phones, which is probably how they will do the where you can manage all your inventory on your phone.
Right.
Because that was the whole thing with back on the GameCube, is you could play it with a link cable from your GBA into the GameCube.
And then use that for your inventory.
As your controller. And so you could control all your inventory and everything, like do all your stuff on your screen. Yeah, it was a really cool game. Really fun multiplayer, like couch co-op Final Fantasy. What else did they do? You talk about this, like, the Switch is just the JRPG machine. Because then they put The Last Remnant came out. Remastered came out last night on it, which I'm very curious. I'm like, I've never played this.
Is it a PS1 game, or?
It was a 360 game.
Oh, 360. And it's only out for Switch?
Yep.
That's interesting that it's only out for Switch.
It was... Oh, no, this is the remaster came out for the PS4 end of last year. So this is
it did? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And it's now coming out for Switch. Yeah, it was a 360 game. Who was this person? It was close to a different one of the other... Can't remember the series that this is closest to.
Looks like it's like big army battles with a bar on top where it's like allies and enemies, and then the morale is going back and forth.
It is. It's not you just your party. You're kind of directing multiple parties or teams. Supposedly it's just really... Oh, it's very similar to the Saga games. The developers had worked on the Saga series before this. Yeah, and it's supposedly like really cool, but kind of obtuse. So like some really crazy deep mechanics, but they're just kind of hard to understand.
I feel like that's how people describe me: cool but obtuse.
So we'll see. It's on my... I'm like, I could get it. That'd be cool. Another JRPG.
Sure. Why not? Another 50 fucking hour game.
Load them all up. Because they also put out... well, I guess that was shown in the Nintendo thing, so we'll wait on that.
Yeah, we'll get to there. But in this one, they ended with the Avengers.
And so...
what do you think?
They shouldn't have made them look... They're not the movie characters.
But they look close.
They made their costumes too close.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. They should have skewed more comic booky in costumes,
right.
So that you didn't have this weird disconnect when you look at the characters.
Yep.
Because they clearly didn't want to pay for the likenesses, right? So that for Robert Downey Jr. and
of course,
Chris, I'm sure the likeness rights were probably cost as much as it cost to make the game. For all those characters,
right,
and all those actors, and but still, at that point, I'm like, you should just choose different costumes because their costumes look really close to the Marvel Cinematic costumes, and that it really made it hard for me to look at it. My brain just was kind of misfiring while watching. I'm like, this is cool. The story looks cool. Why doesn't that look like Robert Downey Jr.?
Yep, I felt the same way.
Chris Evans. Why doesn't that look like Scarlett Johansson?
I was pretty happy that they were going with a different look for them in their face, and then looking at the rest of the body, I was like, wait, is this the same? And then I got really confused. I'm like, maybe that's just a really poor render of Robert Downey Jr. And then I was like, no, it's not.
And that's the unfortunate part. That's where I feel like they probably, if they could adjust, if possible, differentiate the costumes a bit, make it not feel like it's trying to mimic the MCU.
Well, I think in listening to the Game Informed podcast about this game, I think that really comes into play in the game because it's so customizable. There's tons of gear basically that you can customize your characters with. So I think like the base is going to look like the movies, I guess, but then you can make it not look like that pretty quickly.
That's good. Because the voice cast is amazing.
Holy shit, dude. I don't know who the one guy is, but there's Troy Baker, there's Nolan North, which, yeah, great, whatever. But it's fucking Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham, and I'm so excited. I know. So excited.
And I love that they put a segment where they just were talking to them.
Yeah. I was scrubbing through the Square conference, and I saw Travis Willingham, and I was like, wait, what? Is this Critical Role? And I stopped, and I was like, oh my god, they're the voice cast of the Avengers.
It's Laura and Travis, why are they there? Oh.
Yep. I was very confused. And I know that Nolan North and Troy Baker are like in everything and just the most amazing, but I'm more excited about the other two.
From behind, Between the Sheets thing that's been going on, because they did one recently. This is Critical Role's on their channel where they talk to different voice actors and different people in the industry, different parts of the industry. But they finally sat down with Ashley Johnson. And
that was the most recent one, I think.
And they learned from that Troy Baker was neighbors, like in an apartment to Travis and Laura.
Really?
Like they've known each other forever.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And that's how, through Troy Baker, is how Ashley Johnson met. Because Troy Baker was living with Brian Foster.
Oh shit. Okay.
And so that's how they all got connected.
Right.
And
that's crazy.
It's just so crazy. You're like, oh, that's how all these voice actors know each other, because you all just lived there and then you just did stuff together all the time.
You think that they get to know each other by their jobs, but it's just because they were living together. That's crazy.
Pretty much. So yeah, that's I think it didn't really show a ton of gameplay.
Nope.
Or what I could necessarily feel like was gameplay. Like parts of it in the trailer I got close to where I was like, oh, that might be gameplay. But did they even give a date for it though?
Yeah. It's May 15th.
Okay. So
2020. So it's gonna be the bookend for the fucking crazy first half of the year. I'm glad it's coming out soon. I thought it was gonna be like a 2021 game or a next gen game, but it's not. I don't know. I think that what we saw is not indicative of what it's going to be. I feel like we're I wasn't that excited, and I feel like there's potential for me to get excited about this game as we get closer.
It has 4-player co-op, which is cool.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm still confused about who you play as and all that kind of stuff. So,
one of the Avengers, probably.
Well, yeah, I know that.
And how many are there?
Yeah, I got that from the title, man. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's what you play, and I bet.
But I meant like how many are available, you know?
All the ones I assume that they showed there, minus Cap, because he's supposedly dead.
Supposedly dead, right?
But then they showed Ant-Man, Hank, in the end credits as well, the end little post teaser, so he's in it. So I'm curious, like, there's a lot of Avengers characters they can pull in. I mean, You're going to find out tomorrow, right?
What's happening tomorrow? Oh, God, you're right. I'm going to see fucking Endgame finally.
Exactly. So you'll get to see all of them.
Yes.
So enjoy.
Looking forward to it. I know that half of them are gone from the end of whatever I just watched. The fuck was it called? Infinity War. Yeah. So I assume they come back, or some of them are dead. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you can watch how that goes.
I know Spider-Man's still alive because he has a new movie coming out, so
he does.
That's something that I know. But I'm looking very forward to it because I can finally quit avoiding spoilers for the goddamn movie. This one has not been spoiled for me, so that's been a miracle. What else from Square? That's kind of it.
Yeah, they showed a couple newer things, but nothing that was like, oh yeah, totally.
And then before we move into the Nintendo one, I forgot to mention about the Kind of Funny games showcase. It was basically just a ton of indie games. Like, it was just like game after game after game. There were like 65 games or so in 45 minutes. It was honestly too much. I wish it would have been pared down because there were quite a few games that looked really cool. And then they just moved on to the next one and the next. And if you weren't taking notes, you didn't remember the game names. And I don't remember the game names, except for one, which was called Bird Skate?
Oh, Skatebird.
Skatebird, yeah. Looks freaking rad. Looks funny.
Yeah. Tony Hawk skating, but a bird.
I hope there's a hawk. I hope you can play as a hawk somewhere.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah. That's just like low-hanging fruit. They gotta have it.
I know, it has to be, right?
But that looked pretty good. There were several games that looked really good that there were a bunch that released during the showcase that I didn't remember the names of, and I think it did them a disservice. The games
you're
a disservice.
That's cool that you're showcasing a lot of games, but you're not really showcasing them at this point.
No.
You're just blurbing them real quickly onto the next.
Right, and I know E3 is just an ad. Like, we're hyped up all year for a fucking ad campaign, but this one felt the most like an advertisement that was just like, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one.
Yeah.
It was hard to keep track of everything, but there were several games that looked cool. So if I wanted to, I could go back and watch it again, and kind of take notes. But I'm probably not going to. I'll let them bubble up to the surface. And then today was the Nintendo Direct, which I got to watch later, and I got one text from you that said, no fucking way. And I was thinking, okay, what could this be? Could be Banjo-Kazooie. And that's all that was in my head. So I was just waiting, because you sent a text like around the 15-minute mark or so. And I was like, okay, what is it? And I got to the 15-minute mark, and it was, let's see, what was it? It was like Trials of Mana, which is awesome. But I was like, that's probably not what he's texting me about. What the hell? And then it cuts,
a few more minutes.
It cuts to the scene of like this kind of lower textured tree and villages and grass. I'm like, that looks really familiar. And then all of a sudden you see Geralt. You're like, and I seriously was freaking the fuck out. And I actually shed a couple of tears when they showed the fucking logo.
Bad. I'm excited that it's coming, but it looks rough.
I
watched the trailer separately, and I was like, oh, this is a little painful. Like it doesn't really do the art and the grandness of this game a great service. Ooh.
I wish they had just made it like cel shaded, like just change the art style almost completely so that it'll run and look good.
Something, because I mean, and I have it even because you played it on PS4.
I played it on fucking everything: PC, Xbox One,
so,
PS4.
I mean, I played it on my PC at like super high settings.
Yeah, me too.
So when I see this game look like it did when they showed it for the Switch, it makes me cry a little bit. Not happy tears, being going like, well, it's cool, I can play it on the go, but do I want to play it like this? Because I really enjoyed the look of that game.
Me too.
And so that's where I'm like, and more power to the port. I did not think it would even happen Like, no way they would even attempt to make it on there. And cool, you got it running.
But did you?
Is it worth it?
For me, I'm going to say yes without ever playing it, because the idea of being able to play it on the go is just so enticing. But I know it's going to look like junk, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine, as long as it's a decent frame rate. The textures and whatever can look bad, because the story is just to be experienced again.
I assume they're trying to it will be ideally attempted to be locked at 30. So
I fucking hope so. Like, down-res it if you need to. I don't know. This is the one port that I'm looking forward to that I don't care if it's down-res. The rest of them I see.
You're just like, please, just make it playable.
That's all I want. Make it playable. And I can't believe it's the fucking complete edition.
Yep.
It's the base game plus Hearts of Stone plus Blood and Wine.
Yep.
And it's all going to fit on one cartridge. There's nothing to download. They fit it all into a 32 gig cartridge, which tells you everything you need to know about probably the music and the art.
Oh, and the textures. Those are not 4K textures.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No. This is going to look like a muddy PS2, PS3 game.
Maybe?
But I'm here for this, man. I have not cried. Like, I wasn't like weeping, but I was seriously tears of joy. Like, literally, not figuratively, fucking tears of joy. I couldn't believe it. And I just sent you and Brad text just freaking the fuck out. Brad was like, I was waiting for that reaction.
Yeah.
He had texted me before, or earlier in the day, and he was like, so what's your guess for the Smash Brothers DLC? And I was like, my solid guess is it's probably going to be Dragon Quest. And then my heart wants Banjo-Kazooie, because I feel like that partnership should bear that fruit. Fucking both of them happened.
And they opened with Dragon Quest, and at that point I was like, okay, you were right on that. And I was like, not Banjo-Kazooie. We're moving on, of course. It's like they showed the next fighter, like, whatever. And I read confirmation. It's not a bunch of different fighters.
Okay.
It's always the Dragon Quest hero, but you can choose his look. And that's the hero from all the different games, how they look in different games. But it's the same fighter. So yeah. But then they get to the end and they redo that their silly little reveal thing again, which was hilarious.
So good. They got all the rare, it's the King K. Rool reveal again, the same fucking joke, but King K, like, all the rare characters are there. It's King K. Rool and Diddy and Donkey Kong. Yep. And then you see like this silhouette that looks like Banjo-Kazooie, and then they fucking pull out and it's fucking Duck Hunt Dog, and it was so funny because you knew it was happening.
Yeah.
And like the Duck Hunt Dog and the duck just come up laughing like they do in Duck Hunt, and then all of a sudden Banjo-Kazooie can done smash. And before that, you saw the Jiggy come across the room, so you're just like, this is it, and it's fucking Banjo-Kazooie, man.
In the fall.
In fall, right? Because Dragon Quest is in summer.
And so that's the second and third. So we have two more after that.
Yep. And I can't imagine. I don't know what they're gonna be. Can't imagine.
Does it matter anymore to you? You're getting Banjo-Kazooie.
Does not matter. It's unbelievable.
I can't believe
and also
it actually
totally
happened.
Believable. Just like after The Witcher 3 announcement, I was like, I don't need anything else from this direct. I am perfectly happy, because we had before that it was Trials of Mana, which has the Secret of Mana, and then the sequel, which never came in West.
Yep. That's out. That's out now. Like, so
I know.
So there's like the 3D Trials of Mana, the remake, but then there's the collection of Mana, which is on the eShop now, which is the Game Boy Mana game.
Right.
The original Secret of Mana in 16-bit glory, and then Trials of Mana, which never came here. The original.
Yep, exactly.
Which I had a coworker say, he was like, which one is that? He tried to think through. I was like, oh, it says it's one that's never come here. And he's like, oh, that's the one I played on emulation. It's amazing.
Yep.
He's
and
like,
I heard the translation
really
is so good. I wonder if they took that translation or did their own.
I don't know. I'm tempted. I saw it sitting there. It's expensive. $40 though.
It's $40. That's kind of a lot for a Game Boy and SNES and Famicom game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's I think I could wait for a sale too, but Secret Man is fucking great. So
yeah.
And this is the original, not the fucking 3D remake from last year. So I was super excited about that, and then rolled right from that into Witcher 3. But before that was Link's Awakening, and Link's Awakening looks goddamn gorgeous.
Yep.
I pre-ordered that one. How good it looks. Did you pre-order the amiibo too?
I have not pre-ordered the amiibo yet, but I should.
Yeah, I want to get up and grab that one.
I believe it was 50 or 60. Switch games are always a little weird.
Yeah.
I got it when it showed up on Amazon. Let's see. 60.
Okay, yeah, full price game. I wonder if you can use that coupon thing they do to bring it down to 50.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. But that looks amazing. And before that was Luigi's Mansion 3, which also looked amazing. Looked really fun. A lot more abilities for Luigi.
Yep. Oh, you're just skipping all over because you don't care about it. Animal Crossing.
You know what? This is the first time I've seen Animal Crossing that made me sit up and pay attention. Like, I thought, that looks kind of fun.
There's elements they're adding into it that remind me of Stardew Valley.
That's exactly what I thought about in the first probably 30 seconds. Like, are they making this Stardew Valley? And I was thinking, was it always like Stardew Valley? I played New Leaf for a little bit. But...
A little bit, not completely. Like, because it's a collection game, so Stardew Valley has elements of that collecting aspect to it. But this clearly is adding more ability to customize the town more, like build paths and garden and. I'm into getting into debt with Tom Nook, so
that'll be 46,000 bells or whatever it was. Like, someone's gonna kill and bury that guy.
But it did get delayed until March 20th, 2020.
Right.
So,
which is adding more to that pile.
Which is 17 days after the Final Fantasy VII remake.
And how many days before Cyberpunk?
So let's see, 17 days.
I wonder what the Venn diagram is between Animal Crossing fans and Cyberpunk fans.
Probably.
Who's in the middle getting both?
Huge. Me.
Yeah, you.
God damn it.
Yeah, I was definitely leaving that toward the end.
We were talking about on the last show. It was like, because we showed Cyberpunk coming out on the 16th. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines comes out in March as well.
Oh yeah, another freaking spring release.
Which they've actually now pulled back, because originally said March, and now they've actually only stated Q1.
Oh, good.
And I'm hoping that they just hold, if they can, later on that.
Yeah.
Don't release another old school tabletop RPG around another old school tabletop RPG.
I wonder if they took it back because of the Cyberpunk release date.
Possible.
Yeah, it would be smart. Although it's kind of like, I don't know.
There's a lot of
Humbling.
the stuff where I see it, because a lot of footage is shown as this is alpha gameplay.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is it realistic that you can complete this game in 10 months, basically, if you're just showing alpha gameplay?
Right.
Makes me dubious. It's very aggressive, I would say.
Most things we either got just a CG trailer, Avengers, just CG stuff, and it's out next May. Like, how do you not show anything right now?
Yeah.
If it's out in less than a year.
But back to Nintendo. They showed next Animal Crossing, which is great.
And it looks good. It looks fun. I don't know.
It does.
I want to see more, but I'm paying a little bit of attention, which is odd.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you will.
And
collecting your bells.
Back to Link's Awakening, because I saw that dungeon building aspect.
Oh, I forgot about that. I thought it was announcing a Zelda maker or something.
Place the rooms. I'm like, do you collect the rooms basically as you?
That's what it seemed like.
Playing,
yeah.
And then can just place them down to get cool shit.
It just seems like a prototype for Zelda Maker or something. Let's just see what this looks like. How do we? They had an idea for Zelda Maker, and they're like, this doesn't quite work, but maybe it'd be cool as an offshoot mode for one game. I don't know. It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. Cadence of Hyrule is out next week.
This week. It's out the 13th.
Oh, 13th. Holy
It's out
crap.
Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Stop, please.
Yeah. It's so much to play. And here we are still playing Odyssey.
Yeah.
Although I haven't played shit this week, actually. So.
No, I've been E3ing it up all the time.
Me too, every spare second. They announced a game that looks like shit. I'm sorry, but Contra Rogue Core looks bad.
Yeah.
It looks like a 3DS game. It looks bad.
It probably was a 3DS game.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe it was. Oh, that makes it make sense.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
What else did they show? There was just a lot here. That was just... I mean, they just showed a ton of random things. Panzer Dragoon, which is an older game that I couldn't believe it's getting a remake there. I believe it was a Saturn game. I have to read up on it again. Dark Crystal is getting a tactics RPG.
That's so crazy. That came out of nowhere. That's a Netflix
totally
game,
did.
I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It looks good. I like Dark Crystal, so it's on me.
Yeah. I think let's be honest, they ended it on a really high note. Was Banjo-Kazooie the last thing they showed?
No, the last thing they
showed.
was...
I was trying to figure out which order that they showed this, and yeah, the last thing they showed was a Breath of the Wild sequel.
Just jaw on the floor.
My hope is it comes out fall 2020.
Oh God!
This is their competition for
next gen.
For next gen, so like,
oh shit!
Why? Yeah. Like, look, you want next gen? Well, here's another Zelda. Because looking at it, it is what I always thought. It's not. It's more Majora's Mask than a completely new game. It's the Link and Zelda from Breath of the Wild. It's the Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, based on the shot there, which changed, of course. So this isn't. It's more than an expansion DLC, less than a completely new, ground-up designed game.
And it's, let's see here, from Wind Waker to Phantom Hourglass, from Majora's Mask to from Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, and then Breath of the Wild to whatever this is. Are those the only three that are like basically direct sequels?
Phantom Hourglass had Spirit Tracks, was another sequel to it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it had that one. The Wind Waker series had a line there. No, you also had a Link Between Worlds.
Oh, that's true. For A Link to the Past.
Yeah, 20 years later, but still.
Yeah, but still, canonically they kind of go together. I just loved how dark it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was like fucking creepy as shit with that husk of Ganon.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is Zelda going to be playable?
It could be. It definitely could be. Like, based on that trailer, I'm like, she might not be, but she's around more.
Right.
It'd be cool if she was playable.
Yeah, and we thought that for the last one, though, so I don't know if they'll do that. But in terms of fall 2020, I just feel like Nintendo's not going to put it out till it's ready.
I know.
And they don't care so much about Sony and PlayStation anymore. But
it's true.
It'd be great. I hope you're right.
It would be a really fun thing for them to do.
Yeah.
Because we know fall games this year. We got Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's what they're really going with. And then Link's Awakening kind of leading into the fall, into the fall. So you kind of feel like what they're doing going through the end of this year. And then, God, yeah, it could be. It really could be 2020.
I fucking hope you're right, man.
Oh, and they showed more things in their sizzle reel. I can play Minecraft Dungeons with my kid.
Oh, I was surprised to see that coming to Switch. I thought that was it's
Microsoft going like, we're going to put Minecraft everywhere we can, and we know that most kids have Switches.
Yep. No, it's fucking smart for sure. I was just thinking that's another bullet in the exclusive gun.
Care.
Which they don't care.
They don't care at all anymore.
Right.
There's
game looks...
Ni no Kuni is coming.
Rad. Oh, fuck, that's right. Ni no Kuni 2. No, sorry. The first one.
The same day as Link's Awakening.
It's the same day?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that sucks for them.
So much.
Dragon Quest 11 got a release date, September 24th or 7th or something like that. That game looks really rad, too.
September 27th.
Yep. So much. This year for Switch is fucking crazy. And we didn't even talk about, Mario Maker 2 this month or Fire Emblem next month. And that Fire Emblem trailer I really liked. It set the emotional tone that I thought was really interesting.
Oh, I can't wait. I've actually now got it all planned because I leave on my 2-week camping trip
Mm-hmm.
on a Wednesday, and it comes out Friday.
So you're gonna mail it to yourself somewhere?
No, we realized that where we're staying, so the following Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
we have to go into Cody, which is like the only town, Cody, Wyoming, really major town around Yellowstone, and they have a Walmart.
Oh.
I'm just gonna buy it there while I'm on vacation.
I hope they have it.
I'll see if I can, like, before going, like, order it and have it shipped there online.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah, because I'm very sad that I'm like, crap, I'm going to be in a place without Wi-Fi or anything where I can even get the game on when it releases on Friday.
Right.
Makes me sad. Because I'm like, I want this game while I'm on vacation.
It looks so good. Oh my god, there's fucking I want to play Dragon Quest XI. I want to play Luigi's Mansion. I want to play Link's Awakening. I want to play Witcher 3. I want to play Fire Emblem. All this stuff on Switch. Like, that's like a huge lineup for one year. And am I gonna have time to play that? No. But I don't need anything else to. Like, I can't believe it compared to last year where there was just not a ton to play on Switch for me.
Yeah, here it all comes.
Whew, what a fire hose.
Yeah. God.
Yeah,
that was Nintendo. I'm glad Nintendo was the last conference of the Direct, and they knocked it out of the park.
They fucking delivered big time. And I saw some people online just kind of poo-pooing it, and I didn't get why. I thought they announced so much shit and went into bigger details about stuff that they had talked about before, and there were still big surprises.
Yep.
So.
And they more reason of, like, get a Switch. Look at all the games you can play.
Unbelievable. It makes it with this Witcher 3 thing. I think the rumors about a new Switch that's more powerful, I think they're more credible now.
And I think that's possible. And there's part of me that wonders if that is a plan for sometime later 2020. Maybe not the same time everything else is launching, but around the last half of 2020. Maybe they'll announce it next E3, potentially. Or, I mean, or it's something that's coming this fall. Who knows? And they'll just shadow drop it, shadow drop a direct. Sometime in the late summer, going, guess what? There's a new Switch coming this fall. Enjoy. And it will come with a Pokemon Sword and Shield bundle thing. Go.
It would sell a lot of Switches.
It would sell a lot of Switches.
Well, part of the thing about PS4, like, they've sold, what is it, 90 million or whatever, but it's like base PS4, slim PS4, pro PS4, people upgrading and whatever, and it all counts. So.
Yeah. I'm sure it will happen at some point. And then who knows, maybe then Witcher 3 will play better.
Yeah. I can see that. I just can't believe they got it on a cart. Like, just what the sacrifices are going to be to get that. It's fucking crazy. Although, I don't know. I would have taken line drawing.
It's true.
So, overall, I'm pretty happy with this E3. I know a lot of people are not, but my goal for E3 is to come out of it with a lot of games I'm looking forward to, and man, my list is huge right now. So. Yeah,
I mean, there's a ton of games to be playing over the next 12 months. Ton shown. And I can see people being disappointed by this E3 just because it's weird. It's just a weird feeling E3.
Yep.
We're at that tail end of the console generation, so stuff's getting shown, but they don't want to show too much because things are being held for fall next year. We'll see. It's crazy, but I'm happy. I got Cyberpunk stuff. I'm still wired. And now today was the first official day of E3, like actual like people showing up and going, like whenever you came up, when you could walk through the hall and everything. And they showed another 50-minute demo of Cyberpunk. And I read an article that was explaining what happened, and it eventually will be put up online when they said that they will make a public version video of it when they feel they're ready to, when they can edit it all together and do it right. But it confirms some of my story elements in that demo.
Okay, so you are kind of hit that right on the head.
Yeah, that Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves' character, is a digital simulation based on a chip that you have plugged in.
Right.
But he's kind of like your guide and companion, and they said in the demo, he's just hanging out there while you're like talking to people, and he makes comments and snide remarks that no one else can hear. Only you can see him and hear him.
Well, that's something that I really enjoy about games is even if you're running around solo, having some sort of banter with someone, even if it's like Cassandra with Icaros or whatever. So that's a smart way to do that.
So I'm very curious where that leads story wise though.
It's like a fucked up katana.
Yeah,
Cortana, not katana.
It is actually. Similar, serves a similar purpose.
Right.
But it's going to be far more snarky.
That sounds great.
And far more rude to you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited. And
oh man, what we all got something we wanted from this E3.
I got a lot
desperately
I wanted from this E3.
Fuck yeah, dude. Wow, so great. And Treehouse Live is going to have more announcements of indie stuff on Thursday, I think. So there's more stuff coming.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And then the cool thing is I know Nintendo's going to be at Comic-Con, and they might be bringing stuff. So
that's true. They'll probably bring Sword and Shield for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
That's what's playable on the floor at E3. So they'll move that stuff. And then probably I bet Link's Awakening potentially by Comic-Con. Yeah, I could see them putting Link's Awakening playable.
Yeah, since it's coming out
2 months later.
Right.
Yeah, no, that could be cool. You're going, right?
Yeah. I got a preview night in 4 days.
Cool. Then you can inform us on everything.
I can. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a weird E3, but there's a lot of cool stuff.
I've just been glued to these conferences and the news and podcasts about it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So more to come for sure. And we will be back next week with a regular show. We're going to kind of wrap up our E3 thoughts, give our top 5 favorite things, and talk about what we've been playing.
Yeah, it'll sound good.
And I should be able to report on Commander Keen by then.
I can't. Oh my god. Good luck.
Thanks. Yeah,
I think nostalgia powers a lot of my enjoyment of that game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, thanks for listening to episode 196 of Prof and Dev Play Games. He is at Summer's Peak. I am at Prof Plays Games. If you like our show, please hit us up on Patreon. $1 a month gets you something read out on the show, and $5 a month we will talk about the topic of your choice. So hit us up over there. Just search Prof and Dev Play Games on Patreon. Thanks for your support, and we will be back next Monday.
All right. Later, everyone.
See ya, folks.